5 masculine traits that high value women find simply irresistible. Now, men, I always tell a lot of my clients that tapping into your masculine energy and your masculine essence is important in general, even if it's not to get her attracted to you, okay? It's going to be something extremely important for you to work on if you haven't already started. However, through that process of developing your masculine identity and developing your masculine energy, these 4 traits or 4 characteristics or 4 themes are extremely important for you to kind of work on because women do find this extremely attractive. So let's dive straight into it. Hi guys, I'm Christy. I'm a therapist and a relationship coach, and I try to combine both therapy, psychology, and relationship coaching tactics in order for you to better understand how to authentically and genuinely attract a woman that will have a healthy, compatible, and team effort union with you. That beautiful relationship that genuinely everybody craves. I get it, okay? So welcome to my platform. Please do me a favor and press the subscribe button, okay? Give this video a thumbs up if you like topics like this. And again, comment down below. Why are you here? What are you going through? What are the masculine attributes that you may be struggling with or find that you are working on and you can't quite understand how that resonates with your identity as a human being or as a man? Why that's important to you. Now guys, having a healthy masculine identity and energy is overall extremely important and powerful for you to understand how to better yourself, better your competency in this world, and better your characteristics that women find simply irresistible. And it betters your overall well-being, okay? So let's go into it. Number 1, a man who isn't afraid to disagree. And this kind of stems into all aspects of life. And many times, a lot of my clients, the more corporate ones, the ones that are meant to be leaders in their corporate field, find this extremely hard because either you've disagreed with a woman and she's blown up at your face, you've spoken your mind and she burned you, not literally, okay, just like emotionally. So what I want to say is, as a man, disagreeing and learning to disagree and not being afraid of it is extremely important, but learning how to disagree with a woman is kind of like an art, okay? If you do it well, it can result in a beautiful masterpiece of a beautiful relationship and union, or you can get yourself into a war zone filled with conflicts and fights and arguments that seem to be never ending. So I'm pretty sure there's one that's a little bit better, but let's talk about how to get to that masterpiece result. So I get it. Men, why do we even have to work on this? If women just knew how to handle the truth and how to handle the bluntness of what I'm trying to tell her without being sensitive about it, right? I get it. It's kind of annoying. I'm gonna validate that. But there is an art to being understanding that the woman that you're with is a woman, okay? If you wanted to date someone from your workplace that is a man, there comes boundaries in which people are not able to voice out certain needs of that certain environment, okay? Men are built a little bit differently to hide things and not say things or take things for face value. And within the workplace, you know, women might have to kind of mold to understanding how not to take things personally, but it builds up resentment anyways sometimes, right? So what I'm trying to say is, within a relationship, okay, it's really important for you to still disagree and state your opinions and know what those opinions are and state them, right? But know how to communicate it to a woman in which you are attentive of the emotional triggers in which that expression or how you express it can affect her. It's the delivery, okay? So firstly, what's really attractive and really sexy, to be quite honest, to a woman is, number 1, a man knows what his opinions are, knows where he stands in certain arguments, and knows what standards he holds for any scenario in life, but he doesn't devalue hers, okay? It's really important. You don't devalue your own partner's opinions just because you have another one, okay? And it's a fine art, again. right? So, first, you don't just agree if you disagree, right? But you also learn how to disagree without devaluing her opinions. And number two, by being able to stand by your opinions while kind of teaching her another side of the story, in the process, you're able to actually teach and inspire a woman to learn a different side to the world, right? And different side of an argument. And maybe you will learn something too, and learn something through the process of how she sees things. And with more information and more perspective of a worldview, hopefully you guys can get into an agreement or an agreement to disagree. In general, learning how to agree and to disagree by still having and standing by your opinions is extremely attractive. Number two, a man who has high standards in the people that he chooses to keep in his life. Now, this is an extremely important trait because high value women really value her own, and she holds herself in high regard. And seeing you not only hold yourself in high regard, but holds the people around you in high regard and make them accountable for the boundaries and the standards that you think the world should be abiding by, and the provisions that the world should be abiding by, that keep your life whole, content, and most importantly, safe and secure, is an extremely attractive trait because how you delegate the people around you and delegate and set boundaries for the relationships within your life will let her know what she's kind of putting herself up towards, right? Because safety and protection is probably one of the most important aspects of a woman's life. And if she sees that your life and how you handle the relationships around you is kind of a mess, again, messy can be subjective between people to people, she won't feel secure around you, okay? And she's gonna be a little bit more for getting into a relationship with you, even if she's in love with you, okay? So being selective and having high standard for the people that you select to be in your life is an extremely attractive trait to a woman, a high value woman at least. Number three, and this one's a fun one because I know all of you, I can already see the faces that's gonna come up once I say this point, but again, I always say in my videos, don't take my words for face value, okay? Because I'm gonna talk about it. Number three is when a man spoils the people that he loves. Now, really important for me to go over this because point number 1 and 2 must come into play before point number 3, or this point that I'm talking about, comes into play, okay? So firstly, you have a high awareness of where you stand in the differences and philosophies of how this world works, right? You know what your opinions are, you're not afraid to disagree, you voice out things that are important, and you help people understand your point of view, okay? And number 2, which is you're very selective with the people that you choose to be in your life, but you're not doing it in a way to be negative, but you just like to have rules and regulations of who you interact with and who you keep in your life, okay? And very, very thirdly, this one, love and cherish those who you genuinely care about. If she sees that you are loving and giving and you spoil the mother that genuinely really cares about you, and you spoil those you really, really genuinely care about, that is an extremely attractive trait to a woman because you give back to the people who has invested and cares about you. You're not freely giving and spoiling just anyone, right? But you're spoiling those who are genuinely really important to you and has shown you that they deserve to be in your life. Now, I don't want this to be a transactional thing, but it's important in knowing that like you are giving in your own ways and you're choosy, but you're giving in those who you choose to keep in your life and that you really value. And that's a very attractive and sexy trait for a woman, like genuinely. Number 4, and this one's a very important one. Maybe I'm a therapist and I feel the need to say this, but I think this really goes for any high value woman who is aware and self-aware of how relationships work or could work in general. A man who is expressive about his insecurities, but he's putting in the action in trying to detach his current life from his traumas. Now, both of them has to come into play. You're expressive about the things that you are insecure about, but you're also putting the active work to try to detach from it, okay? So this one is very attractive to a woman because it doesn't make her the responsibility for your traumas, but she knows that she has to be sensitive towards it. That it is a team effort to try to heal you from your traumas. It's a team effort, okay? And I by no means am the type of person or the therapist to believe that you must be whole and content and completely healed from your traumas before entering a relationship. I think that's a very, again, westernized ideology of individualistic needs, okay? No one can be fully healed. Traumas and triggers are always going to be there, okay? There is always a different way in how this world presents itself and how relationships presents itself that might trigger a certain insecurity of yours, okay? And it's always going to be there no matter how much work you put into it. But the more work you put into it, the more expressive you are to your partner that you have these types of insecurities, the more you're able to come together and have a team effort of healing you through the relationship, okay? And that is so attractive to a woman, to be able to hear a man tell her what his insecurities are and what he's done and what he is doing in order to detach those triggers and traumas from presenting itself into the future and within the relationship. It gives leadership vibes, you know? It gives accountability vibes. It gives a level of bluntness and truth that you're not trying to fake it, that you're not egotistical about that you are this great person that has no flaws, right? Or it's just so sexy, honestly. So yeah, expressive about your insecurities and the actions that you're doing in order to try to change it. Because everybody has trauma, everybody has baggage. Once you're able to be that person that shows her that it's okay to have these things and that it is going to be a team effort in order to heal yourself from these, again, not completely healed, but prevent these triggers from affecting your relationship too much in the future, it's going to be a team effort, okay? Number 5, and this one again is a very sexy one, and it has to be shown through your words and your actions, okay? It's a man who understands who he is as a human being and as a man, and he has his life path somewhat paved, okay? You're a man of mission and purpose, okay? And don't just say you are a man of mission and purpose. Your actions, your everyday life, your repetition of constantly staying disciplined and staying true to what you say you're gonna do and everything that you choose to do. Now, that doesn't just go to that new business venture that you're trying to stay passionate about. That goes with everything encapsulated in your identity and your purpose as a man. So does fatherhood fit in, right? Does family life fit in? Does how you want to impact and influence others and your friends and your family and those who look up to you? A man who has a strong mission and wakes up every day abiding to those missions and holding himself accountable to that mission, right, is extremely attractive to a woman. And that's something that a lot of men struggle with before I work with them. Just even understanding who you are as a man, what your life purpose is, what meaning do you want to attach to the things that you're doing every single day, why you wake up, why you are spending the time that you're spending on a job that either does it give you the value in which you want to pursue? Are you optimizing the things that you choose to put your time and effort towards? Are you optimizing yourself? Right? Those are the important questions that a lot of my clients kind of go through and work out and try to answer in order to change the behaviors that are needed in order to change themselves and their life in a certain way. Because your identity and your identity as a man and how scripted it is, to be quite honest, how figured out it is extremely important for you to know how to navigate this world. It would give you more clarity as to whether or not you're doing the right thing every single day. And that's such an important aspect in a man's mental health. Not pain, not that you have to go through a really, really, really hard day tomorrow. That's okay if you know that hard day is to make a stronger impact to something bigger than life. But sometimes pain and symptoms of pain, symptoms of burnout could mean that you don't know why you're doing the things you're doing anymore. And not knowing that, not knowing how your identity is attached to the results of your life and the behaviors that you're executing every single day, like why you're doing the things that you're doing, can give a ton of turmoil and a loss of control in anyone's life. Okay, so if you want to understand why identity is so important in every movement, every decision, every relationship that you choose to form in your life, that's what I'm genuinely passionate about. Okay, so if you're interested, you can fill out the form. The link is in my bio, but I hope you found this video really helpful. Those 5 traits are extremely attractive. Like, I can't even speak how attractive it is for all of my girlfriends and all of the women that I talk to, at least for high value women who value you and your mental health and value that you have control over what you do as a man. Extremely attractive, not materialistic things, right? These 5 traits will build you up to monetary financial stability that everyone's craving, will build you up to conquer any war out there. Okay, so these traits are more important than money. Okay, so hope you guys found this video helpful. If you guys are looking or curious about my program, you can fill out the link in my bio. You can talk to one of my coaches and we can go over essentially what therapy and relationship coaching may look like for you and identity work. Okay, thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Hi everyone, if you enjoyed our content, don't forget to follow us on TikTok and IG where we post daily, and YouTube where we post weekly.